All right, it is April 30th, and I am so excited for tonight's call. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background on our guest, Hillary. At one of my early, and I think it was an ICU, I can't remember if it was in North Carolina or where it was, but it was the first time that you gave out those little mustard seed packets. I know you did it like in a massive way at New Year's kickoff, but it was the first time you did that. And Hillary speaks my love language. She's a beautiful, beautiful, faith-filled believer, mother of five. Guys, she lives in a town that could be smaller than mine. There's 900 people in her town. She's in the middle of nowhere, and even has to worry about her internet like I do, because that I can have issues with my internet too, Hillary. She has been with Isagenix for 12 years, and was really probably one of the youngest people 12 years ago to be in the company. And so many of the company's top earners fall in Hillary's tree. So that she would take time out of her busy schedule to be with us tonight, I am forever grateful for. Like I said, I fell in love with her at that very first event, but I've gotten to do a Super Saturday with her husband. We did the virtual Super Saturday that many of you guys, most of you guys were on or either watched the video after. And I love her training. She trains on the comp plan. I absolutely love that. She can train on anything. But what I'm going to ask her about are some things that I think will really help you guys. And that's what we're really focusing on, is really helping you guys, because many of you are now working for the Crystal Executive Reset bonus, since the Director bonus is now done. So first of all, and the other thing is she did hit Crystal Executive in 5 weeks. So we have 4 weeks now, I think, left, a little over 4 weeks left to do this. So that shows you that it's possible. Laura Stevens said on stage at ICU, she has seen people do it in a week. I know that people have done the PK Smith parties he talks about and hit it in one night. So when there is a will, there is a way to make it happen. So we're going to talk a little bit about creating consultants tonight. But first, I want to thank you and welcome you to the call, Hillary. And will you share with everyone a little bit about how did you find Isagenix 12 years ago? Because that is super exciting for those of us, especially those that are brand spanking new.
Sure. Well, thank you first of all for having me on the line. And you guys, yeah, I'm so excited, Cindy, with the Crystal Executive Reset, the challenge that they're doing, the rapid reset, because you guys, you do have time. I mean, if any of you, even if you're brand new, you have time. Like we have, our girl that's only been in 3 weeks, and I did a call with her and I was just like, you can do this. Like, it's just a matter of focusing, because even if you finish, even if you've been in Isagenix for 6 years and you decide now, okay, I'm going to do it now, everybody finishes in like 2 to 3 weeks. Like even when you get down to the wire, you're pushing to get it done. So just do it now and take advantage of what the company's offering. And so a little bit on us, if you haven't heard our story, I feel like we've said it so many times, everybody's heard it, but my husband and I have been with the company almost 12 years. It'll be 12 years actually at the end of May, which sounds crazy to say that. But so I was really looking for something different when Isagenix found us. I really was just not fulfilled in what I was doing. I was, looking for something different. And I received an email, and at the end of the email, I would pray every night. And at the end of the email, there was a line that just said, if you believe in miracles, please call me. And I thought, I'm not doing network marketing again. Any of you ever done network marketing before? I didn't have the best experience. And so I just thought, I'm not going to do this again. But I
can't hear her.
Hang on here.
It's okay.
I had the lines muted. Someone got unmuted somehow. Okay, sorry about that.
That muted me. There we go. I'll unmute myself. Okay. So anyway, long story short, I was really intrigued though by the culture seemed very different than anything I had ever seen. So if you're new to Isagenix and you haven't experienced an event yet, go to an event, because that's what changed everything for me. Like Cindy said, we live in a little town in Northwest Missouri. So I flew to Salt Lake City because that's where my friend was, and there wasn't Zooms and this type of stuff. And I was so impressed with what I saw. It was like 100 people, and they all were already using the product. It was like an Isagenix University. That's how big they used to be back then. And everybody was sharing their product results, and I was amazed. And then they talked about the compensation, and I just remember sitting in the back of the room, and you know, having just the right amount of month and money, if anybody understands what I'm saying. We get to the end of the month and start over again for the next month. And I was tired of living like that. And I wanted to be able to do things. We wanted to be able to take vacations. We wanted to be able to give back more to our church, or whatever it was, whatever it is for you. That was what it was for me. And I remember thinking, I'm going to do this. Like Jimmy Smith was doing the training, and I thought, if he can do it, I can do it. Like, there's no difference. And that's what I want to, if I only impart one thing with all of you, it's if Cindy and I can do this, you can do it. Like, we are no different than you. And so it's just consistency and grit, just consistency is what I'll tell you, and persistence. You know, because we have people that have joined us 10 years later, 12 years later, we have people just joining our team, you guys, because we were consistent. And so, like Cindy, we came home from that event and I was just so fired up. And I always say I was ignorance on fire. Like, and I would have ignorance on fire over knowledge on ice any day. So you guys, I didn't know everything. You don't have to know everything. I just started talking to everyone that I could. And my goal was to talk to 100 people in my first 30 days. And when I say talk to, I mean share something with. Back then, all we had was a DVD. Now you have amazing websites and incredible tools. But so I literally, my intention was to sit with 100 people and show them the DVD. And I didn't. I sat with 41. But 40 of that 41, 27 of those people said yes. So we had 27 new enrollments in our very first month. And back then we only had cycle. So it wasn't very much actually that we earned, but it was still awesome. And you know, that's how we started. And so I just think now, you guys, with all the promotions, with PIVs and rank advancements and all the money that Isagenix puts out to you, if you want to change your life, it's excuses that are holding you back, because Isagenix definitely is not what's holding you back. I mean, every bit of training and knowledge is out there for you. It's just doing the work. And so we just did that, Cindy, and it's worked. And we just teach our team the same thing. Jimmy told me, when someone enrolls, you get them to consult them within 48 hours. And that's what we've always taught our team, is when somebody enrolls, you get them to consult within 48 hours. And we've consistently said that for 12 years. And that's what we really try to do with our own enrollments and with our team.
Okay. And so I'm going to just go ahead, since that's a beautiful lead into one of the questions I was going to ask later. How do you do that? Tell everyone on the call what maybe your verbiage is, or how do you take a new enrollment to consultant so quickly and effectively?
Yeah, even if it's somebody, Cindy, that doesn't even ask about the business, what I say to them is, I talk to them about Isagenix replacing their groceries. So, and if you guys want to see this in detail, I just did it for the company a couple weeks ago on like the Thursday night sales call. So you can watch the recording, and I actually draw it out so you can see it. But what I do is I draw out, I ask them, always show the value pack. So I say it's 78 meals, and then I ask them what they pay per meal. And so if somebody says $8, 78 meals times $8 is $640. So it's $640. Then I say, okay, our value pack is $589. And I show them that they're saving money. And then I would say to them, like Cindy, if I was talking to you, I would say, Cindy, tell me where you buy your groceries.
Oh. Are you wanting me to answer that? Oh, okay. I go to Giant Eagle.
Giant Eagle. I've never heard that one before. I've done this a lot. Okay, Giant Eagle. So Cindy, is that a real place?
It really is, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do live like where we live. So shops at Giant Eagle. So Cindy, if you go to the Giant Eagle, I can't even say that without laughing. If you go there and you buy your groceries for the month and it's $589, and they tell you if you bring 2 family or friends back in the next 30 days, they would give you half your grocery money back or more, would you do it?
Absolutely.
And everybody says that, you guys. I mean, so if I go to talk to somebody and all they want to talk about is the cleanse, they're going to hear about you share, they share. Because what I say to them is, I draw out the pack that I recommend for them. I show them how many meals it's going to replace. I get to a total. And then I say to them, if you went to your grocery store, where do you shop? And I ask them and they tell me. So now they're thinking in their head about their own experience. And I say, when you're checking out, if this was the total and you only had to bring 2 people back, would you do it? And people say, well, duh. Like, people say all kinds of things back to me. And everybody says yes, though. And I say, okay, great. I'm going to show you how that works with Isagenix, because we've used this as our food for 12 years. And this is going to become your food. Here's how it works. And then I draw you share, they share. And I don't just put in random people. I say, like, okay, you know, Katie, here you are at the top. Who are 2 people you know? Oh, you know Carly and you know Danielle. Awesome. Okay, so here's how this works. And then I say, who are 2 people that Carly knows? Because then she shares the 2. And then who are 2 people Danielle knows? And then I show the totals and I show them how their groceries are free. So right there, Cindy, I've already given the names of people. They've already thought of their own people, of 6 people that they can go talk to right away. And then it's just a matter of saying, okay, how are we going to talk to these 2 people? Are we going to get them on a Zoom? Are we going to do a 3-way call? Do you want me to go meet them for lunch with you? Like, how can I help you talk to those 2 people? And then getting them their 2 people right away. And not everybody does it, but a lot of people do it. And a lot who were only going to use the shakes become consultants right away. And you guys, the company did a study a couple years ago, and they found that if people just had 1 cycle a month, $54, made $54 a month, it increased their retention by over 90%. So if you're like a sponsor monster and you're not getting your people to consultant, like you're never going to get your business where you want it. Like you're never going to have residual if you don't build leaders.
Yep, that's so important. Absolutely. All right. So what can you say to encourage people that it's just not happening quick enough? So we have, we have brand new people on this call tonight. We have people that have been with me. I've been here at the end of this month. It'll be 6 years. I started building. I signed up the very end of May. So we have people of all different levels. For people that it just doesn't seem to be happening quick enough, or they're feeling like they're doing something wrong, what advice could you give them?
First of all, if you feel like you're doing something wrong, I would do a practice one with Cindy. Like I would practice, because maybe you are saying something. Like I talked to a girl this last week and she's not able to get people to consultant. And so we started talking about her verbiage, or excuse me, not able to get people enrolled. And we talked about her verbiage. And so when people ask her what's it cost, she's like, oh, just like $350 a month. And I'm like, don't ever say that again. Like, here's what you're going to say. You're going to say it replaces 68 meals. What do you pay per meal? And then you're going to show them that they're paying more than what our product is. Like I never would tell people what the product costs. And if somebody says, I don't know how much I spend, I'm like, awesome. You don't have a food budget. This is going to be great. And like, I make them give me a number first. So I would practice it with Cindy, or I would call her and kind of share what your verbiage is, because maybe it's just a little thing you could tweak, and then that would help. The other thing is, I think it just comes down to, consistency. So, when people say Isagenix isn't working, then my question to you would be, how many times have you shared Isagenix this week? Because if you're like, well, she's getting all these enrollments and I only have 1 enrollment for the month, but she may have shared Isagenix with 30 people and you might have shared Isagenix with 4. So, that's what I see a lot on our team, is that we'll really break down how many shares they have. And a share is not like texting somebody, oh, you should look at Isagenix. A share is actually somebody viewing a video and you following up, or them getting on a Zoom and you following up, or them coming to an in-home presentation and you following up. I also see anybody who feels like they're stalled, we have them make a new list. And I mean, I've been doing this for 12 years, and I can pull out this little notebook here that I use, and it has a list still of names, you guys, that we are always finding. I mean, just last night I added another lady from Facebook that is a friend of Justin's. I went through Justin's Facebook and we did it together. But I mean, he added all the like girls that he went to high school with, because it was like 20 years ago. We're old. And so we put all those names in as my friends, because when he makes a comment, they may not relate to him, but they're all moms now. And so when I make comments, posts about my kids, they relate to me. So I can comment on their stuff and they comment on mine. Just a whole new group of people. Another thing I would do is, if your spouse is involved, we did this with a couple at New Year's kickoff. We actually had them come back to our room and we had them switch phones. And then there's Justin.
Good day, mate.
Hey, Justin.
He's been out working all day. He's building storage units. He's always got a project.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you guys, one thing that we did was we had them switch phones and then go through the phones, the contacts on their phones of who people they hadn't talked to yet. So like Joanna took her husband's phone and she's like, we should talk to him. We should talk to him. We should talk to him. And then he had her phone and he's like, we should talk to this person and this person, because there are people that you prejudge. I mean, in your phone, I can guarantee you on your Facebook page, in your life, in your phone, there are people you have not contacted because you're thinking, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Well, they don't pay your bills, so it doesn't matter what they think, So, I mean, I just think do that exchange or something like along those lines. And Cindy, it gives you a whole bunch of names. I mean, they had like over 100 names when they did that, and they've added several of those people to their team.
I love that. And that really gets rid of so we're getting rid of excuses tonight. That gets rid of the excuse, I've gone through my warm market, because we absolutely know we haven't even gone through our own, let alone our husband's contacts, or if you have a significant other, or absolutely. The excuse of where you live cannot be in the equation at all, because Hillary lives in a town possibly smaller than mine. So, and look at all the success she's had. So we're really trying to eliminate excuses tonight for sure. So I have another question for you. What do you think makes some people super successful in this business and others not? Are there characteristics of someone that you'd see on stage as a top leader that maybe other people don't have, or maybe need to nurture, or how does that work? What do you think about that?
I say systems.
Justin says systems, which I think is important, but that would not have been my answer because that's not my personality, but it's his. See, that's what's so beautiful. But we are systems. Like if I'll turn my computer, you can see my boys have drawn on one of them, but those are executive charts up on the wall. Not for us, but for our people. So we do have a lot of systems in place, and we have an assistant for the systems, because I'm not a systems girl. I texted Cindy right before. I'm like, is this called 8 or 9? But for me, I just think it's passion. Like, I think like if I listen to you and we had a girl who became an executive, and I don't know how, because she was like, and it's so exciting and you should join my team. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never join your, and she was on my team. I just think that you guys, like, people want to follow somebody who's excited about something. They want, like when I drove a pink car before I joined Isagenix, and the founder of that company said people will excited, enthusiastic person right off the edge of a cliff. And it's true, because people go to work every day and they miss out on everything. Like you might be home, but your spouse might not be home with the kids, or, you might get to be at stuff, or maybe you're at work and you're missing things. I mean, I just think like if you can show people that they can have time freedom, that they can design their day, that they can get up in the morning and really do what they want. I ask that question, Cindy, to everybody. I do an in-home presentation. And if you guys are not doing in-home presentations, sip and samples, whatever you want to call them, just do the work. Don't worry about what you call it. Then you're missing out in your business, because I'm telling you, those for us changed that's what we've done from the very beginning for 12 years. We're driving 4 hours away next Wednesday night to do one for a new girl on our team. Like, we still do them, you guys, because we know that's where the magic happens. But at those in-homes, when the very first event, or if I'm talking to somebody where I'm drawing out the you share, they share, if I can even tell there's even an ounce of like interest in more, like in their faces, I'll say to them, okay, this is going to sound crazy, but just go here with me. So, if you could get up on Monday, Marina, and you had all the time you wanted and you had complete financial freedom, what would you do? And I don't let them say like, I'd sleep in. I say, that's great. You do that for a day. Then what would you do? I would do this. Yeah, I'd travel. Why would you travel? Who would you travel with? How long would you stay? Like, I get into where, like, honestly, Cindy, they're like emotional, and I just do that. And I love doing it like in an in-home where there's a group, because then I can say, that's what Isagenix is about. Like, the shakes are great and they're awesome, but they're a vehicle that allow us to show people a different way of having a different life. I mean, that's what it's done for us and for all the people on our team that have been able to do this. So,
having the vision. Yep. I love it.
Yeah, and so important. And the systems are important. I mean, having that in place.
And we travel to our people all over the place.
Yeah. And Justin said he's over here answering in my ear, so I'm just going to let him help.
I love it.
But he's saying, like traveling, like, and even if you're new, you guys, like when we were new, we live in this little dinky town. So like the next town's like 45 miles for us. So even when Justin worked full time and I was doing Isagenix, I mean, I would drive 100 miles, to go to an aunt meeting and drive back that same night. I would drive when I started Cindy, about 2 months in, I got pregnant with Caden, our oldest, he's 11. And I was driving 3 hours every Monday night, you guys, every Monday night to Sedalia, Missouri, in the middle of nowhere, because we had a doctor there and he would have like 3 to 5 people, not 35, 3 to 5 people in his office every Monday night. But I knew that every Monday night that was 5 people I could talk to. So I think the difference too, Cindy, is a lot of people are interested, but not very many are committed. And there's a big difference.
And I do a lot of those things too. And I find that there's a lot of people that want it, but aren't willing to make the sacrifices. So you guys having a large family, how have you been able to make those sacrifices? Going to meetings, going to events, traveling, doing all of this? Because I was on a call the other day, and I had one team member, one leader that was on the call with me, and someone was going to skip out on an event because of a grammar school graduation, like the end of the year graduation, like it was a senior graduating high school. They were going to miss an event, and we were just like, you have got to be kidding me. So there are so many excuses. And this weekend I had to make a huge sacrifice. My daughter, well, I booked Isagenix University way ahead. I had a non-refundable, non-changeable flight. Then I find out it's my daughter's senior prom. Like total heartbreak for me. And I tried to change my ticket, and it was going to be, I was going to have to spend $1,000 to get back in time to see her. So we chose to FaceTime in. It worked. It was fine. But most people would be unwilling to do something like that. So tell me a little bit about how have you made the sacrifice? Have you made a lot of them, and how have you done that? And is it worth it?
You want to answer?
Well,
you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I have no idea.
So it's totally worth it, you guys. It's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. It's totally worth it to do the work at the beginning. And still, we're doing it next week. We're driving 4 hours, but it's totally worth it because you get freedom. I mean, it's freedom. Like, yes, you missed her prom, but you can say to her, what's her name?
Jenna.
You could say, Jenna, guess what? Let's go to New York next weekend, and we're going to stay 3 days, just the two of us, and we're going to make all these memories. She's not going to care. Like, it's just worth it. I mean, for us, it allowed me, Justin worked full time. It allowed Justin, after 3 years of me doing Isagenix, that he was able to come home. He's been home now for 9 years doing this with me. We can both, he takes the kids to school every day. We can pick them up for lunch at 11 o'clock. We can give whatever amount of money we want to any organization that's important to us. We can take care of our families. We're going to Hawaii for Top Achievers. We're staying for a month. He's really happy about that. Yeah. Really happy. Just whatever, like, it's so worth it. And yes, we did them. And we have done so many meetings, you guys, where nobody has come, like 0 people show up, and you just do it the next week anyway. I think that's the thing, Cindy, is that people think, oh, I made that sacrifice one time and it didn't work out. Well, who cares? Do it again. Like, if you had a real job where you had to show up, I mean, you want a 6-figure income. People want a 6-figure income, and they don't want to work 40 hours a week for it. And if you have a full-time job, I understand that. We have a lot of our team members that start out 99%, right, with full-time jobs, but for the ones that really want it, I mean, we had a lady in 1 year replace her teaching income, a master's degree income, and she literally would get up at 5 a.m. and like do Isagenix, like from 5 to 7, like take her girls to school, go to school on every break. She would do Isagenix. On her lunch break, do Isagenix. She'd take them to dance at night, do Isagenix while they were at dance, put them in bed, do Isagenix. She's like, I worked 2 full-time jobs for a year, but in a year replaced her income. So it's yes, I mean, you're going to miss some things, but I tell my team this all the time, like, they have 1,000 things. Like, our kids are 11, 9, 5, 4, and then we have Lucas, who's in college. And so,
Can I narrow it
down
a little bit?
Yeah.
So something we do is Hilary's huge on goal posters, right? She loves to do goal posters, and we still have goal posters all the time, and so we can stay on track of what we're doing. So our kids are involved in our goal posters. So every year we do one major thing for the kids. So this year is where are we going? Hawaii. Anyway, we're going to Hawaii, and last year was Disney and some other stuff, right? But and then we throw in some little things on the way as well. But when mom and dad are working, they know what we're working for. And that's important, so they can see, and then they get excited about it as well, because they know we're going to be doing this many nights, and at the end of this, they get to go do something fun with mom and dad.
Yeah, that's really key. I think if you do have a family and you have children, and if you're asking them to let you work uninterrupted and not distract you and interrupt you when you're on calls, then it is important to make them part of the goal setting, and then rewarding that behavior. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of our girls did this, Cindy. It was awesome. She actually made like a executive, like 1 star, 2 star. And then she let her girls write beside each rank, like what they wanted to do, and they were like little things, when they were smaller goals. And then as the bigger it got, they did bigger things. And like when she hit 2 star, they wanted to go to Chicago to a Bulls game. They were 2 teenage girls and that's what they wanted to do, which was cool. So she took them there. I mean, so it's whatever, but they were so excited and they didn't care if she worked, and so that's one thing that we've always done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great comment in the box. Sounds like you miss a little bit less with Isogenics than you would a normal full-time job. And that is a huge bonus. And honestly, had my daughter given me her prom date when she first found out about it, I would never have booked my ticket or signed up for ICU because I would have gone to Chicago, which I'm still going to Chicago. But anyway, you can really try to plan around that. So, so that's huge. All right. I want to ask you one more question because I know you have to get off here in just a couple of minutes. Tell us some of your daily activities, non-negotiables that you do every single day.
Okay. So like all business or just my regulars, like everything?
What do you do daily? Because you've achieved humongous success. So what do you do? Like what does your morning look like? What do you do that are non-negotiables every day?
So for me personally, I like to get up early. Justin's like a late nighter. I'm like a 9 o'clock is my bedtime. I'm like an old lady. But so I get up in the morning and I do my devotions first. I think that's like sets the tone for my day. It's important to me, and have my prayer time. And then I like to work out. I work out in the mornings. I got to get my kids ready. We get our kids ready for school, our kids off to school. And then you guys, it's just, like I said, it matters different parts of your business. But for me, Cindy, like, always still prospecting. I mean, like Kathy talks about that no matter where you are in your business. And she told me one time, I remember calling and I had 2 little babies and I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, we just hit 3 star. And that back then again was still just cycle based. We didn't have any other bonuses. And, we were doing stuff and I was like, and she said, just run until you get to 5 star. She's like, when you get to 5 star, take a break. And I was like, okay. And so that's what we did. And you guys, I'll tell you, like, it's just those consistent daily activities. Like, how many people are you reaching out to? We talk to our team all the time about 5 by 5 by 5, which is 5 contacts a day, 5 follow-ups a day, and 5 breathing belief into people a day. And those 5 people you breathe belief into don't have to be Isogenics. It could be texting your spouse. It can be, texting your sister or whatever, thank you for what you've done, just little things, but 5 things a day, 5 days a week. So if you do that over a week, I mean, that's 25 new contacts a week, 25 follow-ups, and 25 people you breathe belief into. And, if you hear that number and it sounds totally overwhelming to you, then choose a number that you will do. So say it's 2 a day, 2 contacts a day, 2 follow-ups a day, and 2 breathing belief into people a day. Because if you're consistent, it's the key. And so it's just, I mean, that's probably the most important thing. And one of our girls added kind of like, she does 5 by 5 by 5 by 1. It's a 1 Facebook post a day. And if Facebook is your jam or whatever I'm trying to say, if Facebook is your deal, then do it. For us, we make a lot of connections. Like I just said that through Facebook, but we use it as a connector. And then we try to get right in front of the person, belly to belly. We like to be in front of them. We're on the phone with them. And, because we just know that building relationships, as soon as you enroll somebody, their relationship is what's going to keep people in Isogenics way longer than the product, way longer than anything else. That's our belief, is that the relationships you build with your people. That's why we run a lot of promotions. If you guys are brand new, you should be running promotions, even if you're new. Like if you're getting a PIB, you should be I don't know, Cindy, if you want me to say this or not, but if you are our team, if our team earns a PIB, if Dawn, if you earn $50 in a PIB, we give 25 back to the new enrollment, because we want to say to them, thank you from the very beginning. It's just like customer service, like just like you would do if right? I got a thing today. I mean, honestly, it was from Victoria's Secret, but it came in the mail and was like, here you go. Here's your discount, because I was just there and bought stuff. And so here you go. It's just customer service. And so from the beginning, guys, if you treat your team like that, and always giving back to your people, like they'll do so much and they'll grow because they have somebody finally who believes in them. And that's what people are really looking for, right? Cindy, is somebody in a community of like-minded people who are all working toward a common goal. And that's what we really try to create within our team. So
I love it. Love it.
Activity.
Love it. And I want to honor your time. I know you have to hop off and get on your call.
There's one other thing.
One other thing we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every night
Oh
Just
yeah,
us,
this is true.
we have at least a 5 to 10 minute conversation about isogenics only every night. It's non-negotiable. It may be 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, and maybe an hour. But every night we have a conversation. And for the spouses, for people that are in a relationship or whatever with spouse on this, I learned more out of our 5 to 10 minute conversations than I ever did the back office or reading product catalogs and all that. Because you learn who the people are, you learn about the product, you learn so much in those short conversations. But every night we have a 5 to 10 minute, sometimes longer conversation about isogenics and what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you have your spouse involved with you, it's you have to do that because it just keeps everybody on the same page. And I can tell you, I know we're right at 8:30, but I just want to share this with you guys is that like our team has grown so much because I mean the last 2 years Justin has really poured in to like the men on our team. So if you're I see a lot of women and I see a couple guys. And so awesome for being on there. If you're a guy, good job. And so but I mean, because usually a lot of times, at least on our team, they're more the support role. And so I just want to tell you that when Justin started doing that, our team started exploding because it's like partnerships. Instead of I'm going to go do this and the husband trying to figure out what he's doing over here, it's like a partnership that they're doing. And so just start doing that because it makes a huge difference. At least it has for us.
Yeah, communication is absolutely everything. Relationships, I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. All right, I'm you guys, everyone stay on because I'm still talking to you, but Hillary and Justin, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you in Maui.
Yes, I'm so excited.
To meet all of your kids, I can hardly wait.
All right, you'll hear them from a mile away.
I'm used to it. I have 4 of my own. Thank you guys so much. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, for the rest of you, I hope you enjoyed Hillary. And I've heard Justin talk. I didn't know he was going to be there. I would have had questions for him. He is an absolute hoot. Scott and I heard him in Michigan, and he had us cracking up. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to hear him speak before, but he's hysterical. So a couple of the questions that I saw one come in about people that work, and I know a lot of you guys do work full time. So I think she did kind of address that she has people that, when they really want to do this, and I see Megan right there. I know Megan goes out to her car at lunchtime and she is on phone calls. She talks to people. I talked to her on her way into work this morning. She'll call people on her way home. She does the same thing. She gets to her kids' sporting events or whatever they have going on, and then she gets back on the phone. So, just know, those of you, and I know there's many that have jobs, this can be done in those pockets. I've heard Lori and Chris Harder talk about when they were early building their business, how they had to fit it in 15-minute increments until they got to the point where they could build it big enough that they were able to do it full time, and that now they can travel the world and still put it in the pockets of their time doing what they want. But, I want you guys, I hope you realize that, any personality can do this. Anyone can do this. Definitely, if you're more enthusiastic and passionate about it, it helps. So, that doesn't mean you have to be an extrovert. That just means whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, to be passionate about these products. And if you've used these products and you've had results, then I guarantee you're passionate about the products. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. So we have to do that same thing and have that same energy as we're talking to our new people, whether it be an enrolling conversation, whether it be, I loved how she talks to everyone. I couldn't take notes fast enough, and she is a fast talker, so I will be re-listening to get some of her verbiage down. But I loved some of the things she was saying that I loved her grocery store analogy, that if you could bring 2 people back to your grocery store, and I know there's all kinds of fun ones on here, Wawa's, all kinds of, or is that a gas station? Is that a grocery store or a gas station? Okay. We've got all kinds because we're spaced out all over the place. But if you could bring 2 people back to your grocery store and get your products paid for, get your groceries completely paid for, would you bring 2 people back? Wow, that's a great thing to say. So some of her verbiage I thought was super simple for duplicating and getting consultants created. So so I thank you guys. This call is a little bit shorter, but she had a call actually starting at 9:30. So I knew I only had her for 30 minutes, but I hope it was inspiring for you guys. She has built an unbelievable business, and I love the fact that she still is super intentional. She's still traveling. travels. She still does meetings. She's got a team in Michigan. She's coming. They're both coming to the Michigan Super Saturday. So for any of you guys that are going to Michigan or still considering, get it there. She'll be a main stage trainer, and I think Justin's going to be on a panel as well. So it's nice to have the guys presenting too. I always love to hear from the men too. So do that. Get to a shore to shore. If there's one at all that you can get to one of those shore-to-shore meetings. And, you know, I love the fact that she is a multi-millionaire in this business, but yet she's willing to drive all over, commit to trainings, train her team, go to launch parties, do them. And it just makes me feel like if she's still doing it and she's willing to do it, why wouldn't I? And certainly I hope for those of you really wanting this, because I know there's so many of you that I hear from that really, really, really want this. I really want you guys to think about that. Are you talking to enough people? Are you committed enough that you're making sacrifices needed that you have to make in order to grow the business in the fashion that you want, at the pace that you want? And know that in 5 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever we've got left here for the Rapid Crystal Executive $2,000 bonus, a lot can happen in 4 weeks. And I see John on the line here, and John and Tyler just rank advanced several consultants in 1 week's time shooting for Crystal Executive. So we know that it can be done. Yeah, give it up for our new executives. Woo woo. And we want to see more of you. I love the fact that money is not being left on the table, and it's available to every one of you. So don't give up. I want you guys to go full steam ahead. Put Post-it notes everywhere. Claim it. Say you're going to do it. Turn your should into a must. That was my coaching on my coaching calls that I've been sharing this week. Turn those shoulds into must. I will achieve this. I must achieve this. I am not going to miss out on that executive party in Nashville, because it's going to be a ton of fun and it's going to be a whiteout, and I don't want to miss that. We want to see you guys all there. So have a great week. Let me tell you who next week's speaker is. Oh, next week is Jillian Barkham. She is our dietitian, nutritionist for Isagenix Corporate. And I have been talking to a couple leaders. I've already got a list of great questions for her. So you don't want to miss that call. And if you guys have any burning questions that you'd like me to ask her, private message me and let me know so I can make sure your questions will be answered. But the other thing I want to update you on before we get off is, if you haven't seen, Dairy Free is making its way back. So all back orders are being filled now. Our new people that you're enrolling, if you have been holding off on enrollments of Dairy Free people, you can now enroll them and they will get their Dairy Free items. And then May 14th, we can all place wholesale orders and start getting it again as well. So, so that is being done. They're talking of a new shake release in May. I don't have a date yet, but as soon as I hear, I'll let you know. Brand new shake. And then a re-release of an oldie but a goodie in June. And then some new products are going to be announced in Nashville this summer. So I'm hoping a couple of those will be vegan. I know there's been talk of research and talk of an IsaPro vegan. I don't know that that'll be ready quite yet at Celebration, but I know there's been talk of new vegan products. So stay tuned. We'll keep in touch with you all. Have a great night, great week, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you guys.